Living in Singapore can be challenging for some foreigners, mainly due to the ethnic diversity here. However, it can also be a comfortable and enjoyable experience if one were to understand Singapore's culture and the appropriate ways to interact with the Singapore's community. As such, our objective in this segment is to explore the various aspects that make what Singapore as it is today. Firstly, let's understand what the word Singapore means. The word Singapore originates from the Malay word Singapura. Singa means lion, while Pura means city. Therefore, Singapura means lion city. This term originates from a Malay folklore where a Malay prince named Sang Lina Utama is said to have spotted a lion on this island at the tip of the Malay peninsula, thus naming it as such. In Singapore, there are four main races. They are the Chinese, which makes up the majority of the Singaporeans, followed by the Malays, Indians, and Eurasians. This thus also corresponds to the various languages being spoken in Singapore. English being the most common one serves the purpose as a means of communication among most Singaporeans. In fact, most Singaporeans are bilingual as they speak mostly in English as well as in their mother tongue. For example, most Chinese would speak both English and Chinese, whereas most Malays would speak both English and Malay. Moreover, among Chinese, there are various dialects such as Hokkien, Cantonese, Teochew, and Hakka that are also being spoken. Unsurprisingly, the religion in Singapore is also very much diverse. Majority of Singaporeans worship Buddhism and or Taoism, followed by Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, and Sikhism. In Singapore, our coffee shop culture has been a deep-rooted tradition since the early 20th century. The traditional coffee brew in Singapore is also one of the many trademarks to our traditional way of life. As such, understanding how to order coffee in Singapore's coffee shops will definitely spice up your experiences living in Singapore. These are some of the various terms that Singaporeans used in ordering their preferred coffee. You can try to pronounce them as we go along learning them. There are three components you must say when ordering coffee. First is the type of coffee, followed by the thickness of the coffee, and then how much sugar you would want. The types of coffee are as such. Coffee with condensed milk is called kopi, while coffee with fresh milk is called kopi C, while black coffee is called kopi O. The various thicknesses of coffee are as such. Double shot coffee is called sua. Thick coffee in the espresso style is called gao. Gao means thick in Hokkien, while very thick coffee means tilo. Tilo means just pour in Hokkien. How much sugar you would want in your coffee is to be said as such. Less sugar is called siu dai. Siu dai means little base in Teochew, in this case is the little base of sugar. While no sugar is called kosong. Kosong means zero in Malay. Therefore, for example, if you want to order thick black coffee with less sugar, you can say kopi o gao siu dai. Interacting with Singaporeans can also be a sensitive issue if some norms are not easily understood. We will now go through some of the Singaporeans' behavioral norms in aiding you with an enjoyable experience working in Singapore. As most Singaporeans are wary against strangers, they may at first appear to be unfriendly on the streets. However, please do not take this to heart, as it is not of their intention to appear discriminatory against you. Singaporeans are also generally relatively conservative in nature. Thus, it is appropriate to refrain from making any sensitive remarks or actions in public. In addition, Singaporeans would also tend to mix different languages into their conversations. Such phenomenon is often coined as Singlish in our local terms. One such example is when ordering coffee in coffee shops, as mentioned earlier. If you also happen to see tissues lying around on coffee shop tables or seats, please kindly take note that the table or seats are reserved. Although such behavior is not encouraged by the government, our advice is to leave them alone, so as to prevent any conflict that may arise. Lastly, the main takeaway for living in Singapore is all about respecting and tolerating each other's differences. With this, we can then guarantee a most pleasant experience while working in Singapore.